Revenue by Christian Zhivago, Zhivago. Its subtitle is What to Do When the Money Stops Flowing, right? I do a lot of book reviews and things. Not afraid to introduce you to people that I learned something from. A lot of quote gurus are. They want you to think that they learned everything by them freaking selves. They'll even put down reading and put down books. I think they're idiots, but whatever. Whatever floats your boat. Whatever floats your boat. So anyway, this is a great book, and it's a fascinating, interesting book. And here's why. The message in it is very simple. That there's like this line of resistance. And this is a really important thing to understand. And so if you're selling something for $5 or $10 or some amount in your industry, if you're an architect, that amount could be $500 and it's an impulse purchase, right? But so over here on this line, there's low resistance. And then over on the other side, it's a high price and high resistance, right? And so what happens when the money stops flowing is maybe the level of resistance of the marketplace at the price point you're selling at has changed. In other words, there is a higher, apart from what people say, there's a higher level of scrutiny. Somebody's spending $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 than if they're spending $20. There's a higher level of scrutiny. They'll probably check you out. They may check out the references. They'll go check you out on social media. They may ask for references or talk around and ask people if they've heard of you and so forth. Whereas if you're selling something for $20, $10, the person will go, all right, I'll just take a chance on that. You know, they ain't going to spend a lot of time researching. Like, well, I mean, it's $10. Come on now, right? It's $10. And so the amount of money you spend helps determine the amount of resistance there is. And so in the book, we have chapter titles here. How to find your own river of revenue. Expect to be blindsided. Finding a problem you can solve. Okay, tapping into buyer desire. Developing promise you can keep. Now, 5 levels of buyer desire. Understanding the buyer process. And then chapter 7, 8, 9, and 10, and 11 are really like the heart of it. Chapter 7 is selling a light scrutiny product. That's chapter 7. You probably can't see it. It's chapter 7, selling a light scrutiny product. Chapter 8, selling a medium scrutiny product. Chapter 9, selling a heavy scrutiny product. Chapter 10, selling an intense scrutiny product. So he divides this into light scrutiny, medium scrutiny, heavy scrutiny, and intense scrutiny. And then gives you a little buying process map based on those ideas. So let's just see what he says on page 158. No, okay, here we go. Heavy scrutiny product. We'll see what he says about a heavy scrutiny product. If you are selling a heavy scrutiny product, you must be able to support every step of the buying process. You must know the questions buyers ask, the order in which they ask them, and the answers that satisfy them. You need to know what your competition is saying about you behind your back. Your salespeople must be rewarded for their ability to keep the buying process alive. The buying process tends to stop dead at some point over and over. They need to know that you will work with them until the problem's solved. And so he goes through here and covers what you need to know to sell a heavy scrutiny product. So if your river of revenue is not flowing or stopped flowing, it's quite possible, it's not the only reason, but it's quite possible that, marketplaces change. Levels of scrutiny change. Like in the early days of internet marketing, so $60, even $100 product, even up to $500 with maybe light scrutiny because it was such a hot, crazy topic at the time. Now today, I mean, if you sell something even for $100, you've got probably medium scrutiny, because there's a lot of $100 products out there. People have bought them and been burned and so forth, right? And it depends on your market. But it's quite possible that if your revenue has stopped flowing, that the market has shifted or changes on you. And it may just be you think you're selling at a light scrutiny price point, and the market has changed to a medium scrutiny price point, which means you have to provide more education and do the things that you do to sell a medium scrutiny product. That's the book in a nutshell. But I think the book is valuable in that it goes in, explains this in detail, explains how do you sell a light scrutiny product versus a medium versus a heavy versus an intense. And I find this to be valuable because there's hardly anyone that discusses this. Like, actually, I can't think of another book that discusses this. I've read, I don't know, probably 4,000 books here. Maybe more than that in my life. But I own probably, we counted them one time, but I don't know. It's a lot of books here. I don't know of another book that really even explains this or covers it. And because, people with an agenda will try to tell you stuff that's not true. Well, it's just as easy to sell a $10,000 product as it is a $10 product. Well, no, it's not. You want to know why it's not? When some people spend $10,000, there's going to be medium or heavy scrutiny depending on the audience. People buy a $10 product. I have a friend that used to sell products at, I don't remember the price point, like probably $50 or something. He just sent them direct to the order form. Right? But that was maybe 5 or 10 years ago when there was like almost no scrutiny. Compared to today, where, in my market, internet, making money online, internet marketing and so forth, in my market, it's probably even scrutiny over a $10 or a $20 product because there's so many of them. They're commoditized, right? Well, anyway, the book is called Rivers of Revenue by Christian Zhivago, Zhivago, and the subtitle is What to Do When the Money Stops Flowing. And no, the picture is not AI. This was back when people actually had to paint pictures. Yeah, I know. But the book is timeless, right? I like it. It'll increase and enhance your understanding of how to sell at different times. Like, okay, so the economy changes. What today is a light scrutiny product, if you go in a strong recession, might be a medium or a heavy scrutiny product, right? So these things shift and change depending on the market, depending on the economy, and so forth, and depending on the topic. Like, there was a point a year ago, if you were talking about, or 2 years ago, talking about crypto, there wasn't a lot of scrutiny. People were it was a new hot topic. There wasn't a lot of info on it. People were just snapping up everything they could find on it, right? So these things change as a market matures, as a topic matures, people give it a lot more scrutiny, right? So you have to respond and sell differently than you do with a low level of scrutiny. Hope that makes sense. Hope you get that. All right. If this was valuable to you, please share it with 3 friends. If you go to my community tab, here on YouTube, you will see that I actually, if you share it and just post it on your Facebook, I'll have a little gift for you just for helping us spread the word. All right, thank you for watching today. I'll be back tomorrow. I try to do these in the morning. This time it's really early. This is like 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I try to do them more like 8 or 9. But my schedule changes sometimes, so I know when I can fit them in. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.